I'm talking about cypher buns, the road jumpers, hair raisers, bunners, playboys, mutants, and the punk bunnies. Let's get it. Flash, Lego.
Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we names. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the cows, gotta prove it. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we names. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the cows, gotta prove it.
You already know I'm with them hooligans. Running through the city with my chest out. When I have not swung a little bit, they harass us, arrest us. Tired of being left out. I done been through it all, never gave up. I'ma do it all alone, who gon' save us? Trying to get it to the point they respect us. No more enslaved, but we coming for the extras. Me and my squad tired of the losing. Formulating plans, I've been out here recruiting. See them all talking, ain't nobody moving. Everybody wanna live, ain't nobody shooting. Road jumpers, hair raisers, punk bunnies, they dangerous. When I die, I'll go a martyr, live famous. I already know what the aim is. Comfortable, carefree with the angels. We didn't take their best shot, we know what pain is. Michelangelo couldn't even paint this. My pain, this all I've gave. My heart, are you not entertained when we've came this far?
Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we names. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the cows, gotta prove it. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we names. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the cows, gotta prove it. Say you down for the cows, gotta prove it. Or stay out the way for the movement. Carry King squad up, no capping. We out here, what's happening? Got factions, by the masses. When I test our G, we AK deep in the street with a fleet. Made the six-skate drop to his knee, but believe that's what you call anarchy. On the rise, strategize every move when we ride. Don't care what fact you from or how much dirt you done. We on the takeover, so pick a side. Ain't no more lines across, we knock boundaries over. We war ready, we out, so we need all the smoke, same master bunners. Got the cyber buns, switch the game. Suck up boss, we dismantle SLA parts on the low. Playboy hustle ain't nothing, it's just a give and a go. Silly fluff for shit up for kids, I thought y'all people should know. Hooligan, we hit if I let the mutants explode. Yeah. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we names. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the cows, gotta prove it. Mount up, think straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them L-Rays or we names. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the cows, gotta prove it.
Hooligan here. I've discovered a vulnerability in the Zuck Corporation supply lines for manufacturing Zuckbots. But I need your help. Calling all factions. Calling all bunners, playboys, cipher buns, punk bunnies, rogue jumpers, mutants, and hair raisers. I need you to elect a member of every faction to join me in pulling off the heist of a lifetime, the biggest heist in metaverse history. And the best part is, Meta Zuckbot has no clue. Oh, hey, look, a distraction.
Okay then, is this happening in real time? Don't know what just happened there, but shit, is the rabbit hole a parallel universe? I don't know, but anyway, it looks like Hooli's looking for some help. Sounds like he needs one hooligan from each faction to come forward and work on some form of heist of a century. I don't know what happens next, but I guess he's going to extract some bots. What do you make of that, Colin? That was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it?
That kind of caught me off guard, but it looks like Hooli's up to some kind of heist, and it's a call to arms. I think we need some hooligans to help us out to bust into this factory.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so basically, like each of your factions needs to submit a hooligan, not just your names, but a hooligan too. And let's get that over to Hooli ASAP because he's pretty much on his own out there. Needs a little bit of help. But anyway, weren't expecting that at all, Colin. But guess we're back to usual programming now. But usual programming is old news. we've got to start to switch things up around here and bring more flavor with these AMAs. Like, you know, we're already one of the best at this, right? But it's like let's level this damn thing up, and this is the start of that. You know, we want to start showcasing more content. That includes community content. You know, we want to start to introduce you to the wider team. You know, you see us five geezers all the time, but you know, we've got some more individuals in the studio, and we want you to start to meet them and understand, you know, what they do. And you know, there's so much good stuff going on here. I want to bring it to the forefront, and there's so many talented members of the team, and we want to showcase them too. So yeah, it's time to start stepping things up. But you know, let's talk about some stuff today. We're going to be talking about Zuckbots. We're going to be talking about the rabbit hole game. You've not heard anything about that for a while. We're going to give thanks to the community. We're going to give you a sneak peek of the music video we've been working on. We're also going to give you a bit of a sneak peek on what's happening with the K-Goal menu. And before we do that, how are we all doing, team? What you make of that little intro there, West?
Feeling good about it, man. I don't know. I guess it'll be interesting to see. I'm not exactly sure what Hooli's up to, but I guess we got to get everybody involved and see what we got to do.
I guess one thing that we learned is that this rabbit hole is running in real time with the rest of the universe.
Damn right. It's almost like we're building the universe.
Good to see you back in the building, Kevin Mack. How you feeling today?
Oh, it feels good to be back. I love these guys, and I love this. I love our carrot gang here. It's good to be back with everybody.
All right, good stuff. And Luke?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here on a Friday. It's always fun to dive in, and yeah, it's pretty surprising to see that Hooli is up to something. I mean, not surprising. He's always up to something. We got to deal with him most of the time, anyways. But good to see these diving in and doing some crazy stuff. Also, Skyhopper, you called us geezers,
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
What was up with that?
I don't know. It's a British thing. Everyone can be called a geezer. I mean, I know in America, geezer means old man, but
You're saying we're all
in
really
the UK,
old.
geezer just means, you know, just a happy, chappy, cool fella, basically.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right, that's cool.
If anyone's a geezer around here, it's me.
Backpedaling.
All right, geezers. Yeah, Crypto Block Dan knows what's up with that. All right, so let's get straight into it. Boom. Everyone wants to hear more about Zuckbots. You know, I've been hearing it's going to be a free claim for holders. I've been hearing it's going to drop in October. I've been hearing we've got a mobile game in the works, and if you've been looking at the sneak peeks, you will have started to see how that's shaping up. Talk to us, Colin, but don't give away too much if you can, because
I always do.
we got people watching us out there. And, you know, we want to have some things that hit people by surprise. You know, we don't want people.
So on all fronts, we are exceeding expectations, our own very high standards. The mobile game is looking really, really great. I mean, I'll be honest. One of our concerns was, can we get all of these combinations, all of this variety of unique one-of-one Zuckbots onto a mobile game? And you know, our textures are such high quality that, you know, that was really the bottleneck. Can we cram all of this data, even for a BattleBots game? Can we cram all that onto a phone? So good news, it works. All the characters, all the different Zuckbots can fit on the phone, and now we're adding the animation and the battle. So that's really, really exciting as far as the mobile goes, because it's a pathway to onboard people that don't have a chance to be part of the My Pet Hooligan community, that haven't been able to afford an NFT. This is a way to onboard the masses. So that's really exciting. I think this is the realest opportunity out there to onboard the Web 2 community, the Web 2 people into Web 3. So that's super exciting. And then as far as the actual game is concerned, I had to stop myself. I was taking some great behind the scenes footage as they're rebuilding the rabbit hole game.
We're gonna come to that in a bit. We're gonna come to that in a bit.
Oh, sure.
So, hey, Skyhopper, what's cool about the mobile game too, about the Zuckbot mobile game, and how it's, I mean, it you know, we're given this task a couple of weeks ago, and in just a couple of days, the progress was incredible.
Yeah.
But what's fun about what we're seeing is that it has great in-game utility inside the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're going to see on mobile, something that could totally be brought into the rabbit hole, or excuse me, what you see on mobile will also be able to be brought into the rabbit hole and have this kind of like cross-world, you know, cross-game utility there. So what happens on the mobile can happen in the rabbit hole and have a really kind of fun little, you know,
Yeah, everything we
ecosystem.
build is built to work with everything else.
Yeah.
And that's
All right.
that's a really important part of this, why and how we do the stuff we do.
Yeah.
Giving a lot of thought to mobile and how we're gonna go out there and try to bring this out in a big way. And we felt that this drop would be a good way to kind of channel into something that we could then extrapolate into the greater ecosystem moving forward. So this mobile game will have a big piece in our overall My Pet Hooligan universe, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's so
Real quick, also just want to say, Dennis, Mr. Jacobs was on YouTube and asking me about something, so I'm just going to really quickly, guys. Just...
Yeah, let's put on the cowboy hat.
I was asked to stay.
All right.
I was asked to stay back today. We came down with a little bit of a cold, and we got to make sure that we're not spreading germs around the office. So I'm going from the home office today. So I just figured I'll throw that on. It's for Mr. Jacobs.
Everyone's asking why you've got a lasso as well.
Yeah,
These are real. They don't call it West for no reason.
It's a pleasure, y'all.
New name, Wild West Taglia.
So now what we got to do is we got to make sure we get hats for both Colin and Luke, and same with you, Skyhopper. We got to figure that out for the rest of the crew. So all right, I'll shut up now.
All right.
That is
Cool.
a real.
All right,
question.
listen, I'm gonna go straight into details. We kind of said something, but we didn't at the same time. So let me just clear some of this stuff up. 8,888 hooligans are going to be a free claim. Now, Hooli's up to something. He may be able to release some more. We don't know right now, but in the event that he does, we might make some of those available too. You will be able to mint. You might have seen 3 different bot types out there. You'll be able to mint the OG bot. How you're going to be able to get the other 2 bots, I ain't going to go into right now. But as this story unfolds, you're going to learn more about that. These are in-game assets. There'll be an exceptionally good-looking PFP with great details on it, with animation. They'll also be able to work when we go live with the activation in the rabbit hole and be a companion for you. We've talked about this a lot, but like kind of Aku, they kind of might help you break into boxes. They might help take some damage for you. They might help give some damage for you. They may help you escape from certain situations if you're in a bit of a hairy situation. They will have in-game utility in the rabbit hole. But they're also going to have utility in a mini game on the mobile. This mobile game will pretty much be a Web 2.5 game, be available on Android and Apple. And we're not going to give away too much because we don't want somebody else trying to take some of our great ideas. But you start to see some footage. Let's just say you're going to have a bot. You're going to be able to build up your bot, and you're going to be able to take it into battle. And you're going to be able to rank, and you're going to be able to take losses as well. And all of that metadata and everything gathered as you take part in that journey will also be available when you bring it into the rabbit hole as well. But essentially, talk to us a bit about why we feel it's important to go to mobile, Colin and Kevin, and really how it's going to be a huge onboarding ramp into the My Pet Hooligan ecosystem. And this is the Zuckbots are going to be a sub ecosystem of MPH. It's going to have its own roadmap. Which hopefully we'll share with you at some stage next week. So it's a sub ecosystem with its own roadmap, with a ton of utility, and with direct input into the rabbit hole game as well. So everything that we're doing, whether it be the others, whether it be Carrot Juice, whether it be Zuckbots, all has some place in this ecosystem, all has a place in the lore, and all fits in within this wider rabbit hole architecture as well. Talk to us, Colin. Why is this important? And also, does this take away from what we're doing with the rabbit hole, or does it completely add to it?
Oh, not at all. I mean, the last part first. I mean, someone had suggested, is there going to be like a underground kind of Fight Club, or kind of a way to sell these things and resell these things? Absolutely. Look at every single one of the buildings in the rabbit hole. Most of them are empty. So like an underground kind of Fight Club sort of game is absolutely essential to bring all those people who are not part of Web3. I mean, I look at my kids, right? And I got like an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they know Roblox, they know Fortnite, and they're not dealing with MetaMask wallets. We all know that is such a barrier of entry. The complexity of getting your own wallet is why probably less than 3% of people are even in Web3. So saying, how do we navigate a way so no one has to worry about that? You're just logging in with an email address, and there would be a community wallet, and without saying too much more, but it would basically be, you're already playing essentially you're certainly playing as a one-of-one. So unlike Fortnite, each one of these characters are a one-of-one, and they can be resold. So after a certain point, you'd be able to mint this, but you don't even have to know anything about NFTs or what minting even is. It might just be that you qualify now to enter into the rabbit hole. At that point, your one-of-one Zuckbot, if you start on a mobile game, your one-of-one will qualify to enter the rabbit hole, and it'll be interoperable with everything else we have under Interloop. So that means it can play on AMGI, and it can play in any of the other autoverses that we're going to have under the umbrella of Interloop. So we think that this is like a no-brainer way to onboard people. We want to encourage kids trading these in school, collecting sets of Zuckbots.
While they're still paying attention in school, of course.
Yeah, of course, yes, yeah.
Schools are important.
Right?
Important.
It's actually
Zuckbots are second important.
no, it actually is a good reward to make sure they do their homework, and then you can play this stuff. So,
All right. So what I'm essentially hearing in various coded languages, we've got 7 factions of Zuckbots out there. The mint that's coming up in October, which will be a free claim for Genesis holders, and we'll talk about what's happening in terms of whitelist and kind of mint price for non-Genesis holders. Once we find out what Hooli's up to in terms of his heist, and kind of feeds that information back to us. But essentially, this mobile game may be the way you start to gather, collect, and bring these other factions on chain. We don't want to go into too much specifics on that. There's a lot of work behind the scenes, and there are things we want to keep secret. We don't want other people knowing our secret sauce. Let me tell you that much. I mean, even if they did, there's probably very little they could do about it. But
there's one bit too to throw in here about why we're going, or the direction we're going with this mobile build out right now is we're starting with Android first on this one. With AMGI, we went Apple first, now iOS first, but we know that a massive amount of our community and people, all over the world are using the Android. So we really wanted to start to double down on making some real good progress and headway there. So all the testing we're doing down there on the floor with the Zuckbot game is all straight Android. It's looking great. It's informing us a lot about our Android development as well. But we know that that's a major leg up and a jump start to our mobile developments.
And we're testing it on kind of a middle of the road Android.
Yeah.
So it's not like you need the most expensive equipment. Our play really is to get this out there globally. We really want to create a global brand that can be used in any form, whether we start as a mobile and it becomes a feature film, or it starts as a feature film and becomes a mobile game. It's all related.
All right, so Colin, what is when you talk about a global brand, and we had a great session yesterday. We had a reverse AMA, so that was an opportunity for the community to speak to us, 1-to-1, tell us what's going on in their head, what they want to see, what the feedbacks are, what the pain points they're feeling as a community. And it was such a great session, and we learned and took away so much from that. But one of the questions that came up is like, what is the plan for this IP? This IP is so powerful. Like Hooli is, I like to say Hooli is the unofficial official mascot of Web3. And there's nothing like Hooli out there. Like the quality of what we've designed as a team, the lore that we've developed, all the kind of tools we developed. There's got to be more to this in terms of IP. You mentioned movies. What we're looking at. What does the ideal world look like? Is it cross collaboration on branding with streetwear brands? Is it the movie? Is it toys? Talk to us, Colin.
I mean, all of the above. There's probably not a single subject that it wouldn't work for. I mean, even Hooli's taken on a life of its own. I've always said that art is a conversation. It's not just a static thing. It definitely shouldn't be propaganda. What I love about this process is that you guys are helping mold Hooli. It's a really strange thing. I've never seen anything like this before. We're watching this, like you guys are, develop in front of us, and so the feature film idea, for example. We're just moving forward. We're just making the damn thing. I mean, every day we're making huge progress. There's a grassroots groundswell of enthusiasm. I mean, from these things we just printed out, this week. I mean, we're printing out these heads that we want to give to the community. Someone in the office made Hooli beer. So we're celebrating a couple of milestones. We have lots of videos in the works that we haven't even heard you guys say.
And let me make it clear, Hooli beer is not available for K Gold.
No. You have to come to the studio.
And also, considering this is one large exploration for us, right? So we see this as a massive brand, and we see many opportunities and many verticals that we can hop into. So real quick, too, yesterday we had our first reversed AMA. So thank you everybody for joining that. It was really great to get just a solid think through with a bunch of the community members on sort of how they see the brand progressing, what our thoughts are about growth, what strategies we might be able to start to communicate, and also KPIs. So what those indicators of success look like, and how we might be able to better articulate as a team, and then also back to you. So one real quick thing, just our mobile strategy, everything that we figured out with IMI on iOS. Now, obviously, we were able to take those learnings and then, bring it to what we're doing now on Android with the Zuck game, kind of recognizing the strengths and weaknesses with IMI, and then starting to look through on how to, move forward in this direction. So it's all an exploration, but we appreciate your willingness to tag it along with us.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I'm guessing and just add some color to this, Colin, but, getting this mobile game out there, getting it to a lot more users. Not everybody has a high-end desktop PC. Not everybody has a console, right? But the majority of people nowadays have a mobile, and that's how they consume all their media, whether it's like YouTube, music, games. Like, how helpful will that be in terms of kind of getting a global reach on what we're doing in the ecosystem, and therefore kind of building the brand as a worldwide brand, and kind of almost using that game as a launch pad for the brand.
We've already announced we have our partners, YGG, Delphi, Bitcraft. These are global brands. We have a lot of people that we can connect to in Indonesia and Philippines, India, Africa. I mean, this should be global. Most people are watching their entertainment these days on mobile devices. So while it's exciting to think of a feature film, this brand, I think, is, even though often we're not telling a 3-act story, or a story that has a clear beginning, middle, and end in a sit-down 90-minute film, there is a story here, and it's an evolving story, and there's clear themes that we keep reiterating again and again, and we have a lot of fun with this. And there's a touch of seriousness behind a lot of this stuff as well. I think there's a lot of meaning in this brand, and so it's a lot of fun in games, and we're leaning into the humor big time. But I also think it's important to have a global brand. I think there's a lot of things that this represents that are very important now in this particular time in history.
And I think Hooli really lends himself very well to being a global brand, right? He's a cute little cheeky little rabbit with a bit of edginess, but he's also a really nice guy, I guess.
Well, and Skyhopper, one thing too that as we're building out this global brand, and what's so cool about going into the Web3 space is we're defining a new medium to storytell. We're finding new ways to develop this brand, to bring it out into gaming, whether it be desktop, whether it be console, whether it be mobile. But that's a story that's going out and doing that. Now we know our traditional way of going into series, television, all of that we're doing as well. We're telling the story, extensions of the story through all of our marketing, through all the things, and building out our story with the partners we're bringing. So we say it all the time, but this story develops and evolves with the community's engagement and involvement. And we together are pioneering this new area for storytelling.
I would even say that this is closer to true, real storytelling. I would say for the history of our civilization, I think storytelling is communal. It's people sitting around a fire and telling something again and again and getting the feedback and telling it the next night and the next night. It's evolving through several nights, through several generations. Yeah. The idea that we're just forced to sit down on our couch and just to listen to someone's a story that's a one-way street. The person telling the story doesn't see our feedback. Maybe the number of clicks is all that they'll ever get these days. So I think this is really a very, very healthy way. I'm truly optimistic about the future. Yes, there are a lot of problems in the world, but I actually am very optimistic about how this technology can actually truly bring us together. I don't want this to tune us out from each other. I think as this is actually magnifying our communication with each other.
And the fact we get to make these stories with you guys, I think, is really special. I know at least it certainly gives, I think, all of us a lot of energy when we see the community's input on the storytelling and the directions that things go. So to be able to do this, as a unit is pretty rad.
I'm gonna have to move us on, but the community, you are all going to be start to become part of the storytelling as well. So you'll work out what that means soon enough.
Giving away some
let's move
alpha.
this on. Also, shout out Indie GG. I just saw somebody in the chat there. Everybody, smash that damn like button. Smash that damn like button. You know, there's
We've never
a
said
lot more people watching this than are liking it. And what is there not to like here? There's a lot to like. So let's get over to Kevin Mack. You know, Kevin Mack is back in the building. Kevin, you know, we've had a lot of talk about Zuckbots. You know, what's happening with the game, the rabbit hole. I've been seeing updates, and I know what, you know, I'm hearing we're rebuilding some of the architecture, you know, which might be necessary to kind of like take one step back to take 10 forward. And what I'm seeing, Kevin, I've got to say, is absolutely freaking amazing. Like, you know, the how this is evolving from Alpha 1.1 to where it's at right now is incredible. Like, I can't wait for 2.0. It just absolutely now looks and feels and has everything that, you know, a AAA game, the top, you know, traditional games like a Warzone, Fortnite have. It now has that polish, right? Talk to us about this, and talk to us about the process and why you're doing this and how it sets us up for the long term.
Yeah. So some of you might remember, I think we've talked about it in previous AMAs, that we're taking the existing rabbit hole and we're migrating the entire code base onto Epic's Lyra framework, which is a new game development framework that they released with Unreal 5. It's an incredibly well developed system. It's fairly expert level, so I mean, it's, you know, there's a learning curve to being able to develop effectively in it, but the way you build in that system and and what it allows you to do is it's night and day from just going and handcrafting all of your own code and blueprints for everything. I mean, there's still a ton of code to write, but having that really stable data-driven framework, I mean, it just makes such a difference in terms of being able to make the game feel like, as you said, just what was it yesterday? I think you're like, man, this feels like Unreal Tournament. And it's like, yeah, exactly. It's just got that smoothness and that agility that you really need in a gameplay experience. But more importantly, for where we're at, it gives us a framework to just keep on adding on to it. I mean, one of the things that you know, because this framework basically comes straight out of Fortnite. It's the same, you know, largely the same software that they're using, and you know, Fortnite was built as games as a service model. So, you know, everything keeps on evolving. They keep on coming up with new stuff. They pivot with the community and just figure out, hey, what do we need to make this season? How are we going to do it? You know, this is going to allow us to do that. It's going to allow us to just keep on building, keep on adding new stuff. Also, it gives us an opportunity for interoperability with other stuff that we may be developing, because everything gets developed on a common framework. And so that way we can be sure that things that we learn on one project support another project, and you know, and they can be moved between them and they can work with each other. So, you know, that rising tide lifts all the boats, and all the stuff that we're doing just gets more and more, you know, developed, more and more powerful. I mean, just more fun to play.
I mean, even to maybe add to that a little bit without getting myself in trouble, but anyone that's expecting to see the rabbit hole game now, you know, with the version that they see right now, available on the Unreal Marketplace as version 2.0, I think they're going to be wildly surprised. The effects, the AI, the gameplay, the smoothness. Yeah. I'm looking at all this stuff and I'm like, it's like the difference of you know, of a Kia versus a Tesla. I mean, you're looking at the architecture and even just like I said, the effects alone, and all the different the abilities you have in this thing are blowing my mind. So I was hoping to share some stuff, and they actually, cooler minds prevailed.
We're always trying to suppress Colin on his alpha leaks, but it's a tough balance. It's a
constant tug of war, right? Yeah.
Kevin, just to you know, I want the part of this to be people, you know, to learn from what we're doing as well. You know, there might be budding games developers here or people who've got really keen interest in it. So it's, you know, interesting to get into your mind. Is it common to sometimes to break things down and rebuild them sometimes? Is this common within games development?
Absolutely. It's, you know, I mean, you guys have heard me say a billion times, you know, the Kent Beck's mantra: make it work, make it right, make it fast. You want to separate those stages. If you're going to do effective software development, you want your make it work phase to be hey, let's slam this thing together and let's find out what it really needs to be. And Rabbit Hole version 1, that's out right now, that was us figuring out what this game really needed to be, just how it needed to feel. And I think, and I love what this thing is. I think, it looks great, it feels great. But now to go and take everything that we learned from that and move it into the make it right phase and start saying, okay, now we know what Rabbit Hole really needs to be. So now we can figure out how we need to architect it correctly, and what do we need to, what's the future going to look like? What do we think we're going to be adding to this thing in 3 years, and how do we make sure that we're not painting ourselves into a corner now?
Right.
So every really good team that I've ever worked with always did this. They always put together a prototype, and then threw out the prototype. Well, not threw out, but now you use the prototype as the basis to go and build the real thing, and you start moving the things across. And the reason why that's effective, it's just like, imagine you got like a big shelf full of stuff and you got to rearrange it. You can either just take everything off the shelf and put it back on where it really needs to be, or you can try to kind of slide stuff around on it. It works a lot better if you just clear the shelf and then put the stuff that you really need on it. It's a very effective way of building software.
And that's why we have the wizard here on our team.
Yes.
Like we have graduated to the make it right phase. Yeah, Kevin.
That's exactly what's going on. So because what we have with Rabbit Hole 1 is a really solid thing where we get what works in this thing, and now we know what we really need to lean into, and we know what the formal architecture needs to support. Now it's time to build that, and it's going amazingly well. I mean, it really is night and day to feel what this game feels like right now compared to
it does. Like, just even seeing some of the really stripped back versions of the latest build, it's so like fast paced, smooth. Like, I said straight away, this feels like Unreal Tournament, which was just like a crazy. And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but last time I think you weren't here, and we talked about, we may be going live with Battle Royale as the first game mode, but yesterday I'm hearing it might be Team Deathmatch.
Yeah, well, the beauty of Team Deathmatch is it supports drop in, drop out play. And so I always feel like you want to get that in first, because the tough thing about a Battle Royale is that it's an appointment game. Everybody's got to start at the same time and they got to finish it at the same time. And if you get eliminated early, you're kind of hanging out and waiting for the rest of the game to finish. So that's a crucial game mode, and we're doing it, but it evolves out of deathmatch and team deathmatch, because all the stuff that you got to get right in a deathmatch game or a team deathmatch game all goes right into the Battle Royale as well. But that's an additional layer of rules that you add onto it. So the order in which you do stuff is you get your deathmatch working, you just make it feel great to run around and fight and all that stuff. And then you get your team deathmatch in, so now you have the ability to go and apply your rules to groups larger than just the individual. And then you go and add that next layer of rules, and that's your Battle Royale, and that's some of the other modes that you build in, capturing territory or capture the flag style games or any of the stuff that you can do. They all evolve from that. So once you've got a good foundation, the sky's the limit in terms of what you can build. But yeah, you're right. The order in which we're doing it is that.
All right, perfect, man. I'm looking forward to that 100%. And we have got factions for a reason. Certain factions might have certain skills. I won't say anything else on that matter. But Greek wants more alpha. You know what, Greek? I'll give you a bit of an alpha. I'm going to say this: whatever you think you're going to get from this, Zuckbot claim, you might be in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say. You might be in for more than what you expect, or more than what you bargained for. That's all I'm going to say. Take that to mean what you want. I'm not confirming or denying anything right now, but this is going to be more than you expected. That's
You've got the community in mind on this one.
All right, yeah. So let's go into community stuff and talk a little bit about community updates. So yesterday, important. Everybody read the latest update. I think it's pinned on Twitter, but we did a huge thread explaining what's going on with the community, what's going on in terms of roadmap and where we're at with certain things. So definitely kind of give that a read. We've also started a reverse weekly AMA. This is an opportunity for any of the community, for you all to talk and, for us to listen for a change. We use this AMA and live stream almost to kind of showcase where we're up to and give you an update. But it doesn't, aside from answering a few questions, it doesn't give you the opportunity to really go deep into what you want to go deep into. So myself and West are available for that weekly. The time I think was 2 p.m. Pacific time every Thursday. We know not everybody is on this side of the world, so we will start to host sessions during the other side of the world time too.
Totally.
Definitely was an absolute was an absolute blast. That session was, West.
It was really
what
great.
did you take from it?
Well, a lot. I mean, I think what's great, considering all the facets of this project, I'll just make this quick. There's so many things that we're exploring and trying to do with the kind of the macro project here. So to be able to get everybody's feedback and just kind of get a sense of like, hey, listen, are you guys thinking about, additional IP branding or opportunities in this dimension or XYZ dimension? Because obviously the game is one of the core tenets of the project. But there's so much opportunity around this, as Colin was saying earlier. This really is storytelling in real time, and it's only made so by the community and by all of your participation. So being able to hear you guys out and get actual kind of like a deeper dive of your thinking on maybe some areas that we're not looking at as closely, just it's making sure that we can kind of cover all angles. So I got a lot out of it, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to do that with you guys.
Good stuff. All right, so let's go into Luke, I think you wanted to give some community shout-outs, so let's get into that. But also want a reminder that the K-Gold menu is out, and it'll be going live next week. So if you've been stacking up K-Gold, which is a Discord-only currency, it's free. All you've got to do is play some games on Discord or just claim it daily. And we've got a lot of activations on there. We've got the Hooligan heads. Show us those Hooligan heads again, Colin. Self-painted Hooligan heads.
We got many different kinds, different flavors. So these are all, very likely you guys would be getting kind of like a blank gray one, and then hopefully you would paint them yourselves, and paint them hopefully in the style of your Hooligan or whatever you want. They're yours. But these things they're beautiful. They're heavy. They're thick. These things can really do some damage. Don't drop them on your toes. Don't wear open-toed shoes when you're holding these things.
Steel toe.
These are really, really gorgeous. So I look forward to getting as many of these out as possible. Something we didn't mention. I mean, we have a bunch of small ones we printed up. They're not even part of the K-Gold thing, but I really wish. I think there should be a Hooli in every home.
Yeah. Hey. All right. Cool. I like that. Household Hooli. All right. So we've got the Hooligan heads. I think we've got posters as well. We've got Zuckbot whitelist. If you want to be able to mint an additional one, we will make that available as well via K-Gold. Or we may, we're talking to the community. We know some of you've got 10 Hooligans, 30 Hooligans. We know some of you got 1 or 2, and you might want an additional Zuckbot. So we do want to have a communication with you around that to see if we just make it available for everybody. What else we got there? We've got Hooli shout out. So if you want a personalized shout out from Hooli himself, whether it's for a birthday, bar mitzvah, for a proposition, whatever it might be, that's available. What am I missing? I don't know if I'm missing anything, but maybe some merch as well. But it's all out there. So take a look at the K-Gold menu. And if you complain, it costs too much in K-Gold, the K-Gold's free. Just go and claim it daily. So it's out there, and there's no charge for any of this. We want to give back to the community in many ways, more than one. And this is just a small offering as well from our side. So as you get these things, as you get these heads, as you paint them, post them up. Let's see what you're working with, and be as creative as you want to be. It's essentially a canvas for you to build on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So. I think as it stands, and we could be swayed, but we're going to say it's 1 item per user. So if you've got a million K-Gold, you could get one of everything. So it's 1 per user. However, if you do lobby and want more than 1 per user, we can take a look at that too, because there are different styles of Hooligan heads as well, including the mutants. But I hope that covers that a little bit. But Luke, you wanted to give some shout outs. Go for it.
Absolutely. So a few things going on here. One, AMGI Creator Challenge. We wanted to say thank you everybody who's been putting the work in to get stuff out there. We've been hearing a lot of the feedback on the wallet integration. We're working hard to figure out what's the best way to solve that for everybody, to make it more accessible, easier accessibility, stuff like that. So more to come on that. But yeah, just a quick shout out from our side. Crypto Jammin', Hoolish, J-Dunk, Stacks, Aches, Dennis Jacobs, Hooli Media, and Debo do.
Doobie-doo.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all. I mean, listen. There's so many more that contribute and put stuff out there. Those are the ones that we see always active. But what we want to do on a go forward basis, whether it's these AMAs, Twitter Spaces, or just posts that we do throughout the week, we want to start to showcase more of all the cool stuff you're doing. Yes, we retweet, we do stuff like that, but there'd be fun ways to work segments into our AMAs and make more of a showcase to appreciate, really just show our appreciation for how you guys are using these tools and how you guys are creating stuff. And it's really pretty cool. So there's that on the Emmy front. Now, the next thing, I want to say thank you so much to the hair raisers. Something crazy happened this morning. This is not product placement, but it kind of is. So Krispy Kreme, if you're watching, sponsor us. We'd be happy to do product placement. Look at coffee. Hey, so
That was.
I've not had one yet. What happened there?
I'm pissed off that I'm not in there, guys.
All right, so check this out, everybody. So anybody who's not aware of what Krispy Kremes are, they are incredible donuts that are very tasty, good, healthy. They are so good, they will make your stomach feel like gold, maybe K gold. But
how much did they pay us to say that?
Too much that we can't even tell you all.
Millions.
Millions and millions of K gold.
So, all right, so I don't know who said some of the community sent us those, right, Luke?
Yes, so I want to
give
say
them a shout out.
A huge shout out to the hair raisers who actually organized this to send this over to us. This is one of the coolest things. I mean, we've had happen. It's coffee and donuts, but it's so cool that it came from the community. It came from Webby, Aches, Zuggs. Thank you guys so much for getting this thing sent out to us. It is it showed up this morning right before the AMA, right. And so we're all up here eating donuts. The crew's all eating donuts, and it wasn't like just one box of donuts. It was a ton of donuts that they showed up with and a bunch of coffee. So thank you guys so much.
It was very cool. Very generous.
It
blew us away. By no means is this an announcement to encourage other people to do the same. I don't want to start like massive people sending us stuff, but it was very heartwarming and
it was, man. It was so really cool.
It really made our day. And so anyway, thank you guys.
All right. I've not had one yet, so make sure you save me an original glazed one, please. I will be coming for it after this AMA. All right, listen. Let's get. I want to see this music video. Can we see?
Yeah, absolutely. Music video time. Let's. I think we're gonna get that queued up. I see the team moving over to do that. One little bit too. I know Colin was talking about some movie stuff coming out with the Zuckbot, or not Zuckbot. Excuse me, My Pet Hooligans and Hooligan movie. Stay tuned for the next couple of weeks because we got some cool stuff that we're gonna start releasing and showing you all. Some fun content, some fun posters.
Maybe.
Just cool stuff.
It's definitely happening.
There you go. It's definitely happening. Say no more, Colin.
Calling all hooligans. I'm talking about cypher buns, the road jumpers, hair raisers, bunners, playboys, mutants, and the punk bunnies. Let's get it. Flash, Lego.
Mount be straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them raise or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, Mount up, be straight, get home, be safe. My team, we don't play them raise or we ain't. You already know we some hooligans. What am I to be but a hooligan? Catch me in the street with them hooligans. Say you down for the couch, gotta prove it.
Oh my God. Was that?
All right.
That is looking absolutely amazing. And brings us on to our next section. Looks like we've got another player in the house.
We got another hooligan.
Welcome to our segment of Meet the Team and Meet Keenan, who was involved in the creation of that Hooligan track and music video. Keenan, introduce yourselves. This is the first time anybody from the community is meeting you, so tell us what you do as part of the AMGI team.
What's going on? My name's Keenan, aka Camouflage Talent, aka Two Hop Shakur. But yeah, I'm part of the dev team. It was fun making this game, and for you guys to enjoy it, man, is a blessing just being a part of this, man. Like,
how long you been with us at AMGI?
It's going on 3 years now, man.
So let's take it back to the beginning. So Keenan started with us. You're fresh out of school, started as an intern.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were working on just a little, like a test for a job at that time. You're doing some sketches, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Keenan's an incredibly talented 2D artist as well as 3D artist. So started as an intern, trying to find out what was that right position, that right role. And I mean, dude, you just fit right into every slot that we put you into, and kind of found your own place to blossom. And
I mean, I gotta admit though, it was you guys. It was the vibe, that family vibe, that really influenced me to want to work here. And I tell you guys every day, shout out to Raj, shout out to Luke, my brothers. You know, Wes, shout out to Colin. Colin is I'm telling you, I keep telling everybody, man. Colin, I promise you, Colin is the Nick Fury of AMGI. Man, I keep trying to tell everybody. And we're the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? When he say assemble, that's how we created Hooligans. You know? So it's like,
also, just big ups also, Keenan, to you, man. Every single day, I think everybody in this building or everybody at the company would agree, you are just bringing the energy. You are nonstop joy, and just, dude, you bring it, man. So thank you, and fire track, dude.
Yeah, tell us a bit about the track, Keenan. One day we just came to the studio and you dropped this track on the table and said, "Oh, by the way, I've made this." Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, well, I can't take all the credit. I got to shout out to my boy Antron, aka Weiss. You know, he's the one that came up with the hook. And I told him, I was like, bro, I want you to do the hook, but he was like, no, your voice sound better. And we always have these arguments, but it came out dope. And then I hit up as soon as I did the hook. I hit up Colin, and Colin said he was at the grocery store at the time, and I completely interrupted his family time. But I wanted him to hear this song.
No, it was perfect. I mean, I'm at the grocery store, and all of a sudden I get like someone calling me on like Facebook Messenger or something, or I'm like, whoever calls using this, and I'm like, I'm like kind of busy right now. He's like, hey, I want you to hear something that me and my boy created. Yeah, and I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. And I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing is amazing. I mean, you know, sometimes when your friends make music and you're kind of like, oh, it's fine, you know, it's good. You know, like, I mean, this is something that I'm listening to again and again. I probably heard the thing 500 times now.
Oh man!
And I hear new stuff, and it's always interesting. So I'm blown away. But you know, just to back up just a second, a couple of people were asking, well, how did Keenan start? What specifically did he do? So I mean, just to run you back 3 years, he started we knew he was an amazing artist. He went to LA Film School.
Yes.
And then so he came in specifically known substance painter. Substance painter is like the industry standard texture creation software.
Yes.
Helps you paint up all these assets. It's really great for getting stuff into Unreal, but it's also used for feature films. Marvel, I'm sure they use it in all the Avengers movies. So substance painter was, I think, probably your way in, and you were just killing it, just right off the bat, just nailing some really, really beautiful textures.
Oh yeah.
And then through COVID, you know, we were kind of like, grasping at whatever we can do to keep ourselves excited and relevant while we're all home. Luke was running these daily scrums, keeping everybody motivated. Yeah. Everyone's reporting in. And one day Keenan says, you know what? I want to rebuild this entire city for one of our earlier properties called Little Kaiju.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, you know what? I took it back, right? And he said, I think I have this idea. I want to go for it. And we're like, go for it, man. All of a sudden, he creates this amazing city, the entire city.
Yes.
And so, just at the time that we launched My Pet Hooligan NFT, we said, let's put these guys in a city. What cities should we use? And so we actually used the Little Kaiju city as our rough prototype. So the entire city, the first My Pet Hooligan city, was all created by Keenan. There you go.
There you go. Thank you to Hop Shakur, and new name for you as well, Colin. Nick Fury. I don't think you should be called Nick Fury. I think you should be called Leak Fury.
Leak Fury makes today. Yeah.
All right, well, Keenan, great to meet you, sir. I've obviously already know you, but tell us a bit about some of the other tracks you're working on. I know you've already got the Hair Raisers track done, and that's sounding fire too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, shout out, man! I gotta give my shout out to Logic. which is in New York. And then I got the bonus track. We done already put that out. Well, we haven't put that out there yet. But that's featuring my boy Renz and Weiss. Renz is dope when it comes to he did the beat to it. And then we got Weiss, obviously, he rapped on it. And then now we're working on the Punk Bunnies.
Yeah.
And, that's gonna be pretty dope too as well. I'm not gonna be singing on it because I don't do the punk rock. I don't sing punk rock, but I do write, and me and my boy Amos, which is part of the team, he's gonna be singing on it. So.
You mean Sir Sweetness?
Oh,
Sir Sweetness.
Sir Sweetness.
The sweetness, and you know what? This is going to be a regular part of our AMAs and live stream going forward. So every fortnight, you're going to meet a new member of the team. So get used to it, and you're going to see what else is going on behind the scenes. Maybe Sir Sweetness is next. We don't know. But massive shout out to you, Keenan, and thanks for all your hard work. You know, one of the beauties of this team is somebody was asking us, what is your secret sauce of the team? The secret sauce is the people, and it's the people that are so proactive and so committed to what they're doing, and they actually enjoy what they're doing. This isn't a job. This is just like having fun day in, day out. And when you're having fun and are not constantly clock watching and you believe in what you're doing, you'll always put in 150%. You're not waiting to go home at 5 p.m. You're in the studio. You're working on weekends, nights, everything, because you're passionate about what you're doing, and that's when it becomes, an absolutely kind of beautiful thing. And that's why we're taking it where we're taking it to right now. Absolutely. So big shout out, Keenan. I think the Carrot Gang are feeling you, man, and they're feeling your energy. So there you go. Two Hop Shakur, man, still alive and breathing.
We love Keenan and everything he's brought to the table and everything he continues to do. And Skyhopper, you put it best. I mean, what we try to create here at this studio is a place for artists to be artists and be creative, and give them that lane just to continue to create. One of the coolest things I've watched you guys do is create tracks through Telegram. Just have I'm watching you guys go back and forth with people around the world right now, and watch this thing start from the concept, the idea, growing, and going back and forth just through voice messages, and then seeing the track start to take shape. Videos. It's an incredible way to create, and it's something I've never been a part of. So to watch you guys do that and do it so well, it's incredible.
Yeah, we should release those. It's kind of cool to see the conversation.
The making of.
I don't know where you're doing those raps from. I mean, but are you just doing it like?
Oh, we just write, and then sometimes on my downtime, I just write on my break. And with, like I said, like with Amos, we was at lunch, we was just writing together, like listening to the beat. Shout out to Drew, who's the who's part of the audio team here. He did the beat to the Punk Bunnies, so that's, man, I'm telling you, y'all in for something. Y'all in for something. Soundtrack fire.
All right, big shout out to Jeff YGG as well, and Killer too, who've been helping out with the mixtape.
And we've got a wider sort of soundtrack exploration that we'll be doing. I know we've already hinted at as well. So stay tuned for all that, guys.
Wes, hopefully that's going to be downloadable, just as tracks, right, or as an album.
Yeah. I think
we're going on Spotify. We're going on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. We'll have an ongoing My Pet Hooligan soundtrack that we'll be able to contribute to, and then also we'll make sure that everybody knows how and where to reach all of those tracks and all of that music.
And at some point in the future, we'll have a radio station in the rabbit hole as well, which will feature community tracks too. So if anybody wants to contribute to the mixtape, get in touch. Let's get that all cooking. But big shout out to Hop, and I think we're moving on to the next segment now. Let's get straight to questions. So Wes, keep your eye on Discord. I'm keeping my eye on YouTube. Let's see what comes up.
Before we get to questions, though, there was one other thing I wanted to tell you guys, and it's something that
this is what we talked about.
Well, I thought it'd be great to just tell the community. I know we said we shouldn't say anything, but I thought it'd be best to tell the community,
the Alpha League Brady.
This broadcast has been interrupted by Zuck Corp. Attention all subjects. We have received intel that a group of criminal hooligans have been plotting to disrupt our Zuckbot manufacturing facility. We demand all subjects to remain on high alert as the situation is contained. Any intruders caught or accused of assisting will be punished. As always, we appreciate your unquestioning obedience.